Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about identifiers and Python programming. So let's get started. First, what is identifiers in Python? So Python identifier is the name we give to identify a variable, functions, class, module or other objects. Name of any entity is identifier. So when we write a program, we assign a value to a variable, then we make function, so we have to give a name to a function. We use modules, so we can give some alternate name to modules. So we use classes and we need to give some name like fruit and mango. So these are the names, we call them identifiers. So what identifiers could be possible? Variables name, functions name, classes name, modules, or any objects in the Python. These are identifiers. Let's see an example. Before we go to the example, I want to tell you rules for the identifiers. So a identifier name must start with letter or the underscore. So this is the most important condition. If you start identifier with any symbol or any number, it will not work. So a variable name cannot start with a number. A variable name can only contains alphanumeric characters and underscore. So first, I should not start with the number, but in the end or in between, you can use numbers. So variable names are case sensitive. So age and age are three different variables. So Python is a case sensitive programming language. Please keep this thing in your mind. Keywords cannot be used as identifiers. So keywords are generally a reserved inbuilt uh, entity in Python. So you cannot use keywords as an identifier or variable. So these are some example. So myvar, my variable, John underscore you can use before, and start with the underscore, and you can use capital letter, right? And you can use numeric letter, but not in the starting. So it will work. So these are all legal variable names or identifier names. Illegals, so if you will start with two, or you will use hyphen or any symbol, any other symbol except underscore, it will give you an error. My space, it's not allowed. So these are the examples of legal versus illegal variable names, or we can say identifier names. So best practice क्या है? What are the best practices for identifiers? You should use single leading underscore, so indicates that the name is meant for internal use only. So if you are using any variable name for internal use, you can use underscore in the beginning. Avoid naming conflicts with Python keywords and bulletin. So single trailing underscore and double leading underscore triggers name mangling in context of Python class. Double leading and trailing underscore indicate specific. So these are some built-in class we use, so we should not use. Single underscore indicate a temporary or through away variable. So these are some recommended things, and I would suggest don't go into deeper. If you will not follow these rules, it will fine. So these are just, we can say, best practice, and no one asks you to do this, right? So I will explain more other important things here. So what is the character limits for identifiers? Identifier name can be any length. Python is the only language where there is no limit as per my knowledge, right? But PEP it recommended that don't take lengthy variable name. Keep it uh, within the 79 characters, right? Otherwise it will hurt your credibility as a programmer. So we should keep short and sweet variable name or identifier names that I want to say. But there is no limit. You can use, if someone asks what's the limit, there is no limit. Keep this thing in mind. And how you can check is this an identifier or not? There are some methods you can use. But is identifier, people think that this is the function which helps to check identifier, but this is wrong. So let's see. Is identifier method is used to check whether a string is a valid identifier or not. The method returns true if the string is a valid identifier, else returns false. So it checks only string identifier, 100% string. Okay, beware of myth. So this method does not tell you that it's a identifier or not. It tells that identifier has the 100% string or not. So don't use this method to check identifier. This only checks string identifier. Okay, let's see example. X is equal to John. X dot is identifier and it's true, right? It's a string. And X is equal to 4 John. X dot is identifier, false. So this is not a string identifier, completely string identifier. It's a string identifier but not completely. And one more thing, if you check y is equal to 4 and y is a int, and if you will check this object, it will not work. It will give you attribution error. Why? Because it's an integer, not a string. So it's only method we use only for string variables to check. So this myth I hope you understand. So how to check that entity is identifier or not? So this is the method we use. So import keyword dot is keyword function and use your identifier. It will tell you false. If it will returns false, that means it's a identifier. And def, it's a keyword, that's why it's showing true. So this method you can use. We will see the implementation. So before you leave, let's see the implementation. Okay, so if I type x is x already taken, y is equal to 3, right? So y here is a identifier. If I say z is equal to Ravi, so this is a identifier. If I say u is equal to 1.2, this is a identifier. So if I run this, it will successfully run. Now if I say is identifier function, if I use, and if I say y and then I run it, it will give me the error. So let me check. This is the same function we were talking about. Is identifier, spelling is identifier. Okay, all right. So this is not working, right? So I'm using it wrong, right? So now attribution error we are getting. Why? Because y is a integer. Now I have to use jet, run this, true. So this is a identifier. So this is how you don't need to check, use this function for this. You have to use import keyword dot is keyword, and you can use y, and then you can run false. So this is the identifier because it's false, it's not a keyword. So this is the method we can use to check that entity is identifier or not. So hope you got the point. If you want to check that the variable or the identifier is that integer or not, you can check by this method, is instance. So this is a bonus tip. So x equal to 4 is an instant x or int. So here you have to use object, and here you can use whichever you want to, confirm. Suppose you want to say, oh, it's a float or not, it will tell you no, it's not a float. You can say complex. Oh, it's not. If you want to use, you can use all, it will also work, I guess. Yes. So int is available in this tuple, so that's why it's showing true. So I hope you like the video. If you have any question, you can ask me in the comment box. Thank you so much.